Now, call me crazy if you want, but I am a recovering thug addict, okay? And it is very hard to stop doing something cold turkey that you've become addicted to, right? So I no longer date thugs. I'm dating squares now. So when you're talking to me, do me a favor and put a little bass in your voice. Like, be mean. Not mean for real, but mean just to please me in the moment. You get what I'm saying? Like, I need you to sound really assertive, like you mean it. Like role play a little bit. Now don't go upside my head, but say things like, let's say you tell me to do something and I don't do it as fast. Be like, what I say? Tell me to shut the tell me to go sit my down somewhere. Like when you say something to me, pretend like you feel me, because I be having withdrawals and I be like, he's too nice. And another thing, like I know that you like to dress nice and wear these dry fit shirts. Can you put on a black hoodie? Can you sag your pants a little bit? I know you like to smell good, but can you spray the smell of a black and mild every now and then? I just need a whiff. At least.
You should really just date date who you actually are attracted to, and if that's thugs with nowhere really to go later in life, that's thugs with nowhere to go later in life. You actually ruin good guys, right? You ruin the other type of people when you're trying to change them into someone who they're not. And men, we've experienced this, right? We call it like, she's dating her imprint, or this type of man has been imprinted on her, and that's who she actually wants. Because if you try to date someone that's a recovering, thug addict, you know, people relapse. People relapse a lot. And, that's fine if she's not with someone and she has a relapse, and she's not dating someone and she has a relapse. But if you're actually with someone you're not attracted to, and once again, men sometimes see this later in life when that high school sweetheart, that high school crush you had never gave you time of the day, or not. It's not always so drastic as that, but in your early 20s, when you got curved, when a woman said you were lame, you were square, you were playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you were playing chess, right? And then later on want to sort of spin the block and say, okay, I realize now that you were actually better for me. And then men jump at that chance. We like to think and we like to believe that men are like, no, 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 I'll just leave her where she is. But realistically, that doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes men dive right in and think, now's my shot, now's my chance. And then that relationship eventually implodes. So we're going to continue with this one, but guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. Let's get into this.
Put on some gray sweats and a white tee. Some Air Maxes. Tell me you gotta bust a few moves or make a few plays. Something. These are just things that I need as a recovering thug addict. And if that is just way too much to ask, I may ask you for a hall pass to go hit a few corners with my homie. Because that is the only way I'm going to scratch that itch. Let me just call one of my homies and take a ride with him, hit a few corners, make a few plays, and then I'll be back. And I'm
Now, of course, we always hope that videos like this are complete satirical in nature, right? That she doesn't actually think this, or she's just exaggerating. Well, this is still somewhere under the surface. And that's where I'm looking at it as. Like, this is something real. This is not something she just simply is making up. Maybe we'll go with the idea that she's being extreme with it. But we see this play out in the minutia, but over a longer period of time. You're with someone and they eventually grow bored because you are stable. You aren't with the drama. You've never been that type of guy. So what happens, that itch needs to be scratched. That itch eventually won't be denied. And we see countless stories of women saying, I'm gonna leave him, right? And these are ones that do the wrong thing correctly, right? You left the marriage, you left the kids, right? You broke up the family, and you went to go pursue something that's going to make you happy, rather than, well, you try to juggle both. And of course, we can go into the idea that this happens on both sides. That men um, will leave, will cheat because he wants that excitement, because that's the sort of lifestyle he grew up in. We don't really see that as often, but I want to be fair. Um, so again, when you have a certain type of lifestyle, a certain type of person, and that lifestyle imprinted on you, you either really need to do the work to step away from that, to realize the sort of outcomes that that type of lifestyle gives you. If you want better things, If you don't, do what you want, right? If you don't want better outcomes, the best thing you can do is not ruin someone else's life. And that's what happens when these people go get together with someone that they're not really attracted to.
All yours. No? And one last thing, can you turn your music up when you play it? Turn it up, turn the bass up. If not, we're going to get at least 412s, okay? Because I can't do these stock speakers anymore. I know some Migos who got a shop. I can call them up. They'll hook you up with 412s, 215s, whatever you want. Another subwoofer, a new amp, something. But the stock speakers, we got to get those out of there. We got to get them out. So I say all that to say, as a recovering thug addict, if I ask you to do any of the things that you have heard in this video, please do it, brother. Please help me. Help me scratch this itch. Going cold turkey when you have been addicted to anything can be very hard. So please, cut me a break. Stop enunciating all your words so perfectly. Just need you to look a little rough, a little rugged, like you've been trapping all day or something, like you've been busting a few moves.
Yeah, man, you should bust some moves and pack your bags, right? Sometimes that's the better idea. Just go your own way. Let people, deal with their own addiction as they see fit, as they are. Otherwise, you're in for a world of hurt because you're, and let's be serious for a second, right? Let's be serious for a second. What happens? You, it's not as playful as this. It's not as well spoken or joke or it's not. You don't get these jokes. What you get is small arguments where you don't understand why. What you get is someone lashing out on you at the smallest thing. The smallest inconvenience becomes the biggest issue. That's what you get when you're not living up to an unvoiced sort of expectation. They want you to be someone who you're not, and you can never be. You're not good enough. No one here is good enough to be themselves and someone else. You're not, right? And again, we're going to err on the side that this is satirical, but it highlights a very real thing. If that person and you just suddenly, I would just want to try something different, but you're wired for a certain amount of chaos in your life, and you want to go and do something with someone that is is kinder, is slower, is gentler, is more stable. If you haven't done the work to realize why that chaos was bad for you, why there's a reason you're trying someone new, then you're going to end up miserable and making someone else miserable. And worse than that, you usually end up with children in the mix. So, like I said, take your time, be with whom you want to be with, whatever type of lifestyle you want to have with that person, have with that person. If that's what you want, stick with that. If you want better, it's not just a switch, it's not a binary thing. It just doesn't flip over immediately. You need to sometimes take time out the game and work on yourself. If you like this video, check out some of the videos on your screen right now. Don't forget to subscribe if you're hearing the sound of my voice and you haven't subscribed. Come on, you're killing me, right? Guys, I'll see you guys on the next one.